Well, at one point, you know what I'm saying, we covered a whole lot of economics and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I still like this subject of economics, but I'll be honest with you, right? I'm not sure what to say about the things that are happening here recently inside of our economic system. Because let's be perfectly real here. All right, I think we've discovered at this point that a lot of the things that we kind of assumed about, economics are completely and utterly fucking wrong, right? Like Milton Friedman, as far as I'm concerned at this point, I'm gonna mark him down in the Thomas Sowell camp of dudes who I don't listen to and I don't have any respect for anymore, right? Because like legitimately they were wrong as wrong can be. All right. And a lot of the things that we've heard put out by Reaganites and individuals who, were free trade people and all this type of garbage, legitimately, were completely and utterly fucking wrong. All right. And really, in the end of the day, what drives inflation is wages. All right. It's putting money in the hands of the people. And there's something going on here today with the ending of this, eviction moratorium. Actually, it happened about 3 days ago that I think we need to discuss. I'm going to show you this video real quick. It's only a minute 25, and then we're going to get into some more stuff.
On the concern across the country over the expired eviction moratorium and what it could mean for homeowners as well as renters. Let's take a look by the numbers. While it's difficult to pinpoint, estimates range from 300,000 to more than 1 million families could face eviction in the first month after the moratorium lapses, according to the New York Times. The percentage of homeowners who were behind on their mortgage has dropped from a peak of 7.8% in mid-December down to 4.7% last month, according to Census Bureau household survey data. But more than 1.5 million homeowners are still 90 days or more past due on their mortgages, but not yet in foreclosure, nearly 4 times pre-pandemic levels, according to the real estate data firm Black Knight. And for renters, some 11 million adults are considered seriously delinquent on rent payments, according to Census Bureau survey data. Some $47 billion in emergency rental assistance was made available through the last stimulus packages, but only $3 billion has been distributed to 600,000 tenants so far due to red tape and local and state governments not reacting quickly enough. The White House and CDC extended the eviction moratorium by 31 days after it was set to expire at the end of June, partly to give more time to get that money out. But a 5-4 Supreme Court ruling in June that upheld the eviction moratorium said any further extension would require an act of Congress, which did not happen in time for this weekend's expiration.
All right. So with that being said, let's have a conversation about what's going on. So here in the next month, there's somewhere between 300,000 to 1 million people who may be kicked out of their home. Now, here's the question, right? Legitimately, if these individuals are people who stood here and lost their jobs, that's a problem, right? You know what I'm saying? That's an issue. But it's not as big of an issue as I think, right? As like you would guess, right? Because in case y'all haven't noticed, at this point, companies that you would never think of, like we've had this in the trucking industry for a long time where everybody gets a sign-on bonus, because they're begging for drivers at this point, especially guys like me, right? Me, I get top rate anywhere I go, because they'll have a thing between a $1,500 and, $10,000, depending on what company you go work for, right? And, I've actually even seen it somewhere upwards of 25,000 for team drivers, right? Because those guys, they run different than everybody else does. You know what I'm saying? They don't stop. They go out for 6 months at a shot, 2 guys, and just run across the country back and forth. And they don't take any days off. There's no bullshit. They run off their clock. It's crazy the way they work. And I'm not interested in that. But with that being said, you're talking about, 25 grand for, a sign-on bonus for them. But even with some garbage jobs, just bullshit, I've seen companies where they're giving out, $5,000 sign-on bonuses to warehouse workers and offering up to $32 an hour, right? In places, where they used to make 19, 18 pre-pandemic, right? Because like, these motherfuckers are always asking for individuals to come out, right? On top of that, and this is everywhere, right? This isn't just here. You know what I'm saying? This is a lot of places, right? All over the country where they're offering sign-on bonuses. They were offering, $50 for individuals just to come in through an interview. So with that being said, I'm not absolutely really concerned about that, but I think some of the gains that we've made in wages and things of this nature, as in general, things as Americans, is going to go the other way with the massive influx of, South American immigration that's came in the past few months. And on top of that, with them standing here, stopping all these pandemic relief programs, right? And a lot of individuals are really upset about this, and they're trying to fight to keep these type of programs in line. And I don't know how much I agree with either side of this, right? Where it's like, should we just cancel it and say fuck everybody, or should we, stand here and, continue these programs and have wages continue to go up? Now, me personally, I would like to see them, stop the help and then close the borders, right? Which would help quite a bit with all of us being able to gain the opportunity to, have wage increases. But it's going to drive inflation. That's a bit of an issue. And they know at this point, and they don't want to tell y'all, but I'm going to tell y'all because, I don't lie on my channel. This is how it works. We don't lie. I don't lie, right? You ain't gotta lie, Craig. Right? I ain't lying around here. There's no need for me to sit here and lie to anybody. Inflation is driven by wages in the end of the day, right? And I'm explaining how this works. So, all right. The way everybody understood this for a long time was this. As soon as the government prints off and creates money, it creates inflation, right? A depreciation of your dollars, right? A depreciation of, the currency, your buying power. Well, that's not remote. That's not absolutely true, because think of it this way. So there's a reason why I have a pallet of money up on the stage, or up on the picture, up on the stage, baby. Yeah, I'm up on stage, man, right now. So as they stand here and print off money, right? Let's say there's $500 in all circulation. Okay. And that's trading goods between 100 people. Right. And so the maximum amount that any good could ever cost is $500 because there's just no other way, you can't create any new money. And I decide to print off this pallet of money. Okay. And then I put it in a room and I don't let nobody have that. Has your buying power diminished? Can anything cost any more money at that point? No, because these dollars are locked in a room and they're not in circulation, right? This is how this works. Really simple. So if they stand here and print off money and give it to Wall Street, yeah, you're going to have a bubble in equities. You're going to have a bubble in bonds. You're going to have a bubble in international assets. Like assets that they can bet on futures for. But if they have money and they print it off and they give it to people, now that's a horse of a different color, right? Because at that point, that money then actually begins to chase regular goods. And so you're increasing the amount of money that's in circulation in people's hands that they can purchase goods with, which means that they can sit here and, pay more for goods. So the price of goods goes up. That's actually how this works. Now, the same thing happens with wages. When wages increase, right, due to a lowering of, the amount of workers available for whatever, workforce that you're looking at, right? When wages go up, that's going to immediately cause inflation in the goods that are created, the services that are offered, or, the local area, of whatever the workforce is. It's a really simple thing. It's like the same reason why housing goes up. It's not because all right, so if you have more individuals with more money to be able to stand here and buy houses, the cost of housing goes up. Right? Like, for instance, if you live in a really nice area, right? Like a really, really nice area, and everybody wants to live there, right? The amount of money that's going to be brought to that area, to buy a house is going to increase, right? It's supply and demand. It's a basic premise about things, right? And yes, you're going to have, things go up in price just because of the fact of shortages due to global, insecurities inside of like the trade lines and whatnot, inside of like, the international shipping lanes and whatever, right? And, disruptions in, manufacturing and production throughout the world due to the fact the place is shutting down during the coronavirus. This is going to happen, right? That's not inflation per se, right, that we're talking about. The inflation we're talking about is the inflation that's caused through governmental interference, right, in things like, standing here saying you can't be evicted out of your house. So what does that mean? So if you can't be evicted out of your house, that means that nobody's being evicted out of their house, which means that there's less property available, which means you're going to drive up the cost of rent, right? That is inflation, right? But again, it's not really the inflation we're talking about, right? The inflation we're really talking about is the individuals having that extra $600 a week on top of the $300 or $400, that they might be getting out of, the regular unemployment benefit. So that means, they're getting $1,000 and $900 a week. And, they're not able to get evicted, so they don't have to pay rent. So therefore, all this money is going to go into, buying goods, which ends up having the cost of goods go up, because, irresponsibility, what Hans Hermann Hoppe would call, short time preferences, And so these things, as far as stuff's really concerned, it breeds irresponsibility, And on top of that, it causes inflation when you put the hands into the people, put money into the hands of the people, as far as things is really concerned. Important to understand how all this works, right? This is what modern monetary theory is about. And so the reasons why they're going to let all these programs lapse, and let everybody go and let everybody fall apart. Well, number one, it's not an election year. So that means, their jobs aren't up on the line. But the second part of this, legitimately, the second part of this is it's going to crash the goddamn economy, right? Well, it'll slow it down, right? And then you're going to end up arresting inflation because more individuals will have to go into the labor market, which means that wages are going to get driven down, which means that companies are going to be more productive. So equities will go up. But, the bottom line of individuals as far as, their ability to, buy goods, save, these things, all these type of things that actually help the human beings, is going to be destroyed. Just how it works, is what it is, and I think here's the real problem that I see long run about this, right? If they let the unemployment lapse, right? They go, we're not going to stand here and pick this program back up. The issue is going to be that you're going to have massive amounts of defaults on things like cars, and it's going to be a spiral where they're going to have to do bailouts because of the fact that all the people who were counting on this new money that they just got with all these jobs that went up in rates, these people are either going to be laid off or have to accept the fact that they're going to have less money, and it's going to breed massive amounts of instability into the market, the employment market, that is, and instability in the nation as a whole. Like, are going to lose their minds, right? People are going to be highly pissed off because nobody signed a contract, right? That said, because you can't sign a contract that says, like, I can't drop your fucking wages. Either A, they're going to stand here and because they're not going to be able to get more production, right? So it's either one or two things has to happen. Either A, prices have to go up, which they can't fucking do, right? Because it's like Frito-Lay. Like, if you want to stand here and earn more money for doing what you're doing, that means Frito-Lay has to raise their prices, which means they're going to sell less goods, which means they're going to be less profitable, which means they're going to end up, taking a hit, and then they're going to end up losing your jobs because they're going to have to do layoffs. It's going to get ugly. Legit, it's gonna get ugly. Anyway, this goes. Like, either way, 6 of one, half a dozen the other, son. Like, this is gonna fall down. There's no choice about that. The feds can print money until the cows come home, unless they reinstate these programs and just pay people to sit at home. And we're gonna end up with just straight It's not even communism. I don't know what to call it. It's something else completely. We've been on a period of stimulus since the 1970s, right? But this is going to be ridiculous. It could be by the time Biden gets to his fourth year, we double the deficit. And that would be fucking insane in 4 years. 30 trillion? I don't even know if that's possible, to be real with you. Another 30 trillion? 60 trillion? I don't know. I don't know, man. But anyway, yo, look, I wanted to drop this video for y'all, man. You know the deal. Check me out on Odyssey, man. I'm over on Odyssey. I do things on Odyssey. And Sunday, we're going to be doing a live stream. You know what I mean? Breaking down some Mentions Mobug. It should be some, you know what I mean, good times. I'm going to try and get 4, 5, 6 people in there. You know, I'm going to kick it and have some fun. You know what I mean? We're going to have somebody read it out. And, you know, then, you know, we'll sit here and break down the ideologies and stuff. I think it'll be a beautiful time had by all. It is what it is. Anyway, yo, look. Tom P's Pnoid News. Yo, hit that like button, man. Yo, drop me a comment. Tell me what you think. All right. Peace be like one. Later.